What's up? It's cold out here today. Whew. Hope everybody's had a good day. What are we talking about today? What are we talking about? We are talking about a pretty crazy story. I might go off on a tangent here today. We're talking about Hernan Cortez and his group of Spanish conquistadors in their conquering of the Aztecs. So let's set the scene. 1519, there's rumors that there is this great land to the west in the Gulf of this great civilization with a bunch of gold. So Hernan asks the governor of Cuba if he can get a charter, take 400 men, and head west and go check out these rumors. The governor says, for sure, bro, you can go. And then at the last minute, he goes, psych, just kidding, you can't go. And Hernan decides, yeah, nah, screw that, we're going anyway. So immediately he becomes a traitor and mutinies against the Spanish crown. We land in what is modern day the Yucatan, and Hernan turns around, looks at his men, and knows, there is no turning back. We can't turn back. If we turn back, we're good as dead. So he burns the ships. So everyone kind of gets the idea we're either going to win or we're going to die trying. And I'll try to abbreviate this story. I highly suggest you guys go look it up because it is absolutely insane, this story. We land in the Yucatan. We meet with the Mayas, and the Mayas give us these slaves. And one of the slaves is this girl, and this girl can speak both Mayan and Aztec. And because of this Spaniard that had been living with this Mayan village for the past year, we can now communicate from Spanish to Aztec. So this low-key was the most important thing in Cortez's conquering of the Aztecs. So how do I do this? Okay, so we meet the Aztecs. They try and offer us gold. Hernan, instead of being like, oh, okay, we'll just take the gold and leave, is like, oh, there's got to be more, right? So let's keep going. So we start working with the native tribes that are underneath Aztec rule. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Aztecs would do this thing called the Flower Wars. And basically what these were it was 2 centuries of perpetual war where the Aztecs, instead of killing the warriors from these tribes that were underneath their rule, they would instead capture them and bring them back to Teotihuacan and Tenochtitlan, and how do I do this without getting banned on the internet? They would practice human sacrifice. They would sacrifice these guys to their gods and then eat their bodies because they believed that if they ate the bodies of these warriors, they would consume their energy. So pretty crazy stuff for all those, purple-haired libs out there that say they ruin beautiful cultures. In a way, yes, you're right. Teotihuacan was one of the prettiest cities in the world. It was actually bigger than every city in Europe at the time except for London. So when the Spaniards came upon it, they literally thought they were in a dream. They had never seen anything quite like it. At the same time, they were ripping people's hearts out and eating their bodies. So, dualities of this world, right? So we decide, okay, we're heading to Teotihuacan, and Montezuma, the Aztec emperor, he was a very peaceful man. He was definitely a peacemaker. And he invited the Aztecs, or the Spaniards, in because he kind of thought he really had no other option. And they played this board game, Cortez and Montezuma, and basically the Aztecs believed how this board game played out was how everything else was going to play out in this situation. And Montezuma lost, and Cortez basically placed him under house arrest and was controlling the Aztec Empire behind the scenes. And all of the native tribes that hated the Aztecs for obvious reasons were there in the city. And the Aztecs obviously were not happy about this. So at this point, the governor back in Cuba, remember that guy? He was mad that Cortez went off without, approval. So he sent 900 conquistadors to go take out Hernan and his 400 men. So Cortez leaves a small garrison back in the Aztec capital to watch over them. And those guys, we'll start with them. So these guys are watching this festival that the Aztecs practice, and they're basically practicing human sacrifice. And so they get super angry, start killing everybody. But a lot of survivors in their interviews would say, yeah, they just wanted the gold from all the rich nobility, and they just claimed it under the guise of they were protecting these people that they were sacrificing. And at the same time, Cortez is back fighting these conquistadors that the Cuban governor sent, and he convinces them to join his side. So now these dudes have also mutinied against the Cuban governor, who just took massive L's after L's in this story, and joined sides with Cortez. So more horses, more cannons. They head back to Teotihuacan, but by this time the Aztecs are so mad. They're like, we are over these invaders in our city taking our stuff and killing all of us. And it's called the Night of Sorrows. The Spaniards tried to escape with everything that they could take with them, and the Aztecs basically grouped up, banded together, and tried to kill all of them. Cortez initially was one of the first people out of the city and was going to leave all of his brothers behind, but he had a change of heart, turned around, tried to get as many of them out of there as they could. So now we're super wounded. The Aztecs have the upper hand, and they meet us on these plains. We're about 30 miles outside of the city, and the Spaniards, outnumbered, outgunned, totally outnumbered, you guys, but not outgunned, somehow pull off an incredible victory with a last-minute cavalry charge into the Aztecs and disperse the Aztec army and live to see another day. So now we've got like this brief 6 to 8 month interlude where our third player enters the scene, and that is smallpox. Smallpox absolutely decimates the Native Americans, you guys. Like, it can't even be described how terrible smallpox was to the natives. From the few records we have, it's estimated that about 8 million natives in Mexico in a year died of smallpox, including Montezuma's successor, because Montezuma got axed by his own people. Forgot to mention that. But the new emperor died from smallpox, and it gave the Spaniards enough time to lick their wounds, to get back with friendly tribes, to rebuild their army, and to one last time head to Teotihuacan, take over the Aztec Empire. And so we're in the final showdown after our big battle, and at this point the Aztecs are just, laying there ready to get taken out. And they starve the city, they don't allow water into the city, and the Aztecs actually hold out for way longer than anybody would have imagined. And they finally take over the city. They're merciless. How you doing, sir? They're merciless to the Aztecs. As you could tell, they've spent the last year going back and forth with these people. So it was like a take no prisoners thing. Absolutely decimated the city, took all the gold, dismantled all of the old idols of worship, started raising up Catholic areas of worship, and forced converting the natives. So, I don't really know the good news in this, because this is one of those stories where like everyone was kind of a bad guy except for Montezuma, and he died. But Cortez goes from, in a matter of a year and a half, a traitor to the Spanish crown to now being basically the guy who rules New Spain out in Mexico. And it all happened because he decided to take a chance. He didn't listen to his orders, and he said, I'm going to take a chance. I can't wait for the perfect time. I can't wait for the perfect season. I'm going to go now and take this chance. His back was against the wall, literally. It was either win or die trying. That's where we get the phrases win or die trying and burn the ships from. It's from this story of Cortez. And I bring it up because what is our life other than burning the ships and winning or die trying? When you guys, the people who watch these all the way through, I know there's like 10 of you, but for those of you that watch these all the way through, we are now in a place where we have to burn the ships. The old us is dead. You know, the Cortez, the us in Cuba that sailed over, they're long gone. We have to burn those ships. There is no turning back. Once you decide to give your life to Christ, there is no turning back. There's no going back. You have made your choice. You can't go back to that life of sin. Even if you wanted to, you would feel so guilty because you've tasted what the other side is like, you know? So I bring him up because, hey man, you're gonna have opportunities in life where you'll say to yourself, oh, you know, I'll start, but I've gotta wait for these certain sets of opportunities and circumstances to come together at the perfect time, and then I'll do it. And then I'll do it, right? Oh, if I just wait for the full moon and Aquarius sun rising, then I'll start my business. What? What are you talking about, bro? What did we talk about yesterday? You only have so many days. You are going to die. Every moment you waste is a moment that cannot be taken back. You can't get that back. Cortez obviously saw this and took it to the most extreme, but ended up conquering an empire outnumbered literally 20,000 to 1. They were outnumbered 20,000 to 1 this entire story. Yes, they had disease. Yes, they had guns. Yes, they had superior tactics. But at the end of the day, for every one Spaniard, there were 20,000 Aztecs. And they won. What an absolutely crazy story. Definitely needs to be a movie. I think I might start making movies about these stories and TV shows. But let's go to the verse of the day. I'm going to get a little bit closer for the verse of the day. That was a crazy story, right, you guys? I mean, that was crazy. Sorry if I yap for a little bit, but man, what a crazy story. So the verse of the day, we're in Ecclesiastes again. Excellent book. Excellent, excellent book. We're in chapter 11, verse 4. Whoever observes the wind will not sow, and whoever regards the clouds will not reap. Modern translation, if you wait for the perfect time and the perfect opportunity, it'll never come. You'll never do it. It will never happen. The only way to do it is to do it right now, today. I love all of you. Get up, get to it, get after it right now, today. I'll see all of you tomorrow. It's supposed to be warmer. Somehow it's going to be like 30 degrees warmer here, so I'll be in my booty shorts again. I love all of you. See you tomorrow. Stay blessed.